Hi guys, very good afternoon. So today I don't have my cards as you can see, and today I wanted to talk about uh, twin flames, soulmates, karmic counterparts, and things like that. Okay, now there has been quite a bit of interest generated on twin flames, so that is why, in continuation of that topic, I did want to pitch in my own 2 cents, so to say. So, before I go forward on the topic, I just wanted to say that I have had almost 25 years of work experience as a life coach. Of course, I do it through tarot, I do it through meditations, do it through past life regression. These are all the things that are included in my skill set, and I've had some beautiful, case histories, and I've seen quite a bit. Long story short, I've seen quite a bit in this field of mine, and I obviously don't profess to say that I am right or I am the only one who's right. Please take what resonates. This channel is primarily started by us based on our own experiences, okay? And if it resonates, you can go with it. If it does not, then please let it fly. So now, the story of twin flames, okay? There is a whole uproar, in the spiritual community or otherwise also about this phenomena of twin flame. What is it? It seems so intense, so intriguing, so fascinating. So I just wanted to go by my experience of twin flames, what I have seen in my field. So there are, you can use any label you want, okay? At the end of the day, you know best what is in alignment to your soul, okay? So please take what resonates. Now, I'm going to be primarily going by the most often used terms called soulmate and twin flame, all right? Divine counterpart is another label, according to me, okay, I'm going to go with that label as well and explain what all these categories and things are all about, okay? Visualize a trunk, a tree, okay? Visualize a tree, a nice thick, maybe oak tree or something like that. The trunk, the branches within the branches, meaning the branches coming out of the branches, right? Visualize that. Your twin flame is the trunk, the main trunk of a tree, okay? Your twin flame is you, basically, right? So the main part, the main trunk. The other branches coming out of the tree, maybe they might be, the thicker branches, right? The ones that are maybe 10 in number or something like that, okay? Those are your primary soulmates, okay? Now, the branches coming out of those branches, okay, are your secondary or third, or tertiary or third, fourth, fifth level soulmates, all right? So, in your lifetime, you will meet any of these. You might meet with your twin flame, you might meet with your primary soulmate, your secondary soulmate, or the rest of the levels of soulmates, all right? Now, that is the difference, right, between a twin flame and soulmates, and different levels of soulmates as well. Now, what is a karmic partner, right? Now, I really don't believe in anything called a karmic counterpart, a karmic soulmate or something. I don't really believe in that, because we create karma with our twin flame as well, right? What is karma? Karma is the law of cause and effect. You do something good, you get something good back. You have a good relationship, you get a good relationship back, right? So you have good karma and bad karma with almost anyone you interact with, right? Whether they are soulmates, whether they are twin flames, every single person is a karmic relationship. The ones that come into your force field, the ones that come into your life, right? They come because you have certain karmic threads with them, right? So there is nothing, at least in my viewpoint, there's nothing really like a karmic soulmate. Now, you can create positive or negative karma with your soulmates, whatever level they are in, right? And you can create the same with your twin flame as well, which is the reason why a lot of soulmate unions or twin flame unions, take time and work and shadow work and all of that before they come into union, before all the threads of karma are ironed out, so to say. Right? Now, I wanted to explain the difference really between soulmates and twin flames. Now, this in the age of Aquarius, right? The divine has given a decree that there be more twin flames, and because the more the twin flames come into union or interact with each other, the more the collective gets enhanced and essence. All right, so the difference here, and this is something that I really believe in, is that twin flames mainly come together or come into each other's orbit for a very, very spiritual reason. Okay, it is not just to have yes, there are unions where the twins have gotten married and had a beautiful life together, but this union is mostly for the upliftment of humanity. All right, the main premise of both of these twins would be how do they better the vibrations of the collective. Now, there is another notion flying around that only when you come into union with your divine counterpart are you going to set off on your life mission. It is not like that. Twin flames are intrinsically passionate about the greater good, about a higher cause. And you will see often twins being involved in professions that kind of collectively impact humanity in any specific area. It could be in science. Take the example of Marie Curie, and Robert Browning, was it? Yeah. Or take the example of, spirituality. We have, Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Or take the example of, take any example. I'm not exactly getting too many examples here because most twin flames, we are only talking about the ones who are known, right? There are so many twins who are not known and who are behind the scenes working, individually as well as together if they are in union, right? So these people would already have established themselves to some extent, on their life purpose, because they know there is an inner calling that they need to do something to, enhance the energies of the collective, right? So it is not necessary that only when you meet your twin flame that you embark on your spiritual mission. No, sometimes you have always been on a spiritual mission and you are energetically supported by your twin flame. All right, and then later on, maybe down the line, you might meet them and work together for the collective, right? So it's not necessary that it's only when, like, let us say you have a calling, to do some spiritual work, healing work. You don't have to sit there and wait for your twin flame to arrive to support you in this cause or this call, right? You have a calling from the divine, you go ahead with it. That is what brings in, most of the times, your twin flame, right? Now, now coming to the topic of soulmates, I have often seen in my readings that there might be 2 to 3 different individuals that you might encounter in your lifetime, who might be different levels of soulmates for you, with different types of karma, depending on the kind of lessons that your soul has, set itself to learn. All right. So there might be a time where, maybe right in the beginning, when you were just starting off, when you were really young, you had a very intense encounter and you learned something, and that is your soulmate teaching you. Always soulmates are the ones who will affect you or move you the most, right? Twin flames, of course, is a totally different thing altogether, and I'm going to get into that. But soulmates move you. You look back on your life and you remember this person out of the whole lot of people, who actually moved you to such an extent that, you could not forget that impact in your life. All right? Those could be soulmates as well. All right? Not every soulmate is supposed to be beautiful. Some soulmates are supposed to teach you very, very harsh lessons as well, right? But when you look back, the way to identify a soulmate is to understand the impact that a certain person had in your life, all right? So when you look back, you will know that so and so had that impact, whether it was good or bad. You always remember the impact through the impact. All right. Now, twin flame. Yes, it is another level altogether of connections, right? But I want to really talk about this here, because there is one thing that I have seen in most of my coaching and in most of my experiences, with other people, with myself, and everything. All your relationships, the ones that you have gone through in your life, are stepping stones towards your twin flame connection. All right? It's like the universe, if you truly are meant to meet with your twin flame in this lifetime, all your relationships will be like stepping stones towards that ultimate love. All right? It's not going to be an easy path, right? It's mostly for twin flames. It is not an easy path because it's a highly spiritual connection. All right? I still remember, I don't know, I was talking to a client one day, and they happened to mention that there is somebody, who they, who kept coming back in their lives, and they could not forget about this person. And it was quite intense, and they happened to ask me, do you think this is my twin flame? Because I typically see the same pattern that most people keep mentioning, the running, the chasing, and things like that. So I just happened to ask her that, if I were to tell you that this is your twin flame, and it's probably going to take a lot of effort and a lot of work and time to actually unite with this person if they are your twin flame, whereas you could have a very beautiful dreamlike connection with a different level of soulmate, what would you choose? Would you choose to wait it out, do all the work, be patient, be self-sacrificing, etc.? Or would you like to go ahead, move ahead in life and go through any sort of connection that the divine has given to you? And she was like, oh no, I want to live my life. Okay. I want to live my life. I want to have, everything. I want to have a beautiful house. I want to have a beautiful family, husband, the wife, and, whatever we aspire for as humans. So this was a choice made, right? And this is the reason why I'm taking an example of this, is because when it's a twin flame, guys, when it's a twin flame, you are, first of all, you're going to be prepared for it, all right? I need you guys to understand one thing, and that is that every relationship is a preparation for your twin flame, all right? So you cannot rush a twin flame union. You cannot either make it happen or make it not happen. If it's supposed to happen, it will happen. It is in the hands of the divine. It is in the hands of the Almighty. You cannot dictate this. When both your souls are in alignment, you are going to gravitate towards your twin flame. It is the law of nature, like attracts like, right? Polarities come together like magnets of opposite poles, right? It is going to happen anyways, right? So labeling these connections is very self-defeating, is what I feel, all right? Because if you don't, every relationship that comes to you is, like I said, a preparation for your ultimate twin flame, right? And if you do not treat any relationship that is given in your life, with the same sacredness as you would a divine twin flame connection, you are delaying the union between you and your twin flame. Because this relationship, which might not be a twin flame relationship, is preparing you to come into union with your twin flame, what you want, the highest love. How can you forego this? Now, that is not to say that, you take bad treatments. That is not to say that you take bad treatment from someone. If a relationship is very obligatory, if it's not working out, it's absolutely, you have given your best, and you know that, there is nothing left here except to move on from this connection and concentrate on your self-love. That is a separate thing altogether. But here I'm talking about the dangerous implications of labeling connections. Every connection is sacred. Every connection is divine. Every connection is your twin flame, at your level of evolution, right? If your energetic vibration is, let us say, at 50, and you pull in, a soulmate, which is at the same vibration, okay, they are your twin flame in a sense, right? Because you are vibrating at that level. So looking at your connections, you need to understand that, there are certain connections you have to go through. You have to go through because of karma, because of learning, and always the split side of karma is learning, right? If you do not go through karma, the tough lessons, you do not learn, right? So what I'm meaning to say here is that I have seen in some cases where, people are having their spouses or their counterparts, and they're, happily with them in deep connections and committed relationships and marriages, whatever. And then suddenly they come across the concept of twin flames, and, they probably get attracted, to somebody, who might or might not be a twin flame, right? And they might have all these runner chaser patterns, right? And they start getting distracted from their current relationship, right? They start getting distracted from their current relationships. Um, that is not what the divine wants. The divine has not put you in a connection because it's just random, right? There is a reason for everything happening on this planet, right? So the reason why you're in a certain connection is because of certain things, it's because of certain learnings. And if you get distracted because of certain concepts, they might or might not be a twin flame. That's a different thing altogether. That's a different ball game altogether. Whether they are twin flame or not, the point is, if you have certain commitments, certain obligations, certain beautiful connections in your life, you cannot abandon and just go ahead with your twin flame. That doesn't happen. Twin flames don't do that. Twin flames are incredibly sensitive towards their own towards their relationships, towards their connections, because they understand that every step that they take wrong creates karma, and karma delays twin flame union, right? So any relationship you have in your life, give it your best. If it is not working, of course, you should not stay when connections have gone away from their expiry date. I mean, you have all the freedom to walk out of something like that, right? But to get distracted when you have something already, to get distracted by that concept, not happening. It doesn't, it's not exactly in the highest good of either you, your twin flame, or in general, the collective. Now, going on, so here we have covered soulmates. Soulmates will be of different levels. There will be a very high level soulmate which you will feel a soul pull towards. Most of the times there will be very high chemistry rates, with the closer the soulmate is, the higher the level of your soulmate, the primary, the more the physical attraction is. And very opposite to what people believe about physical attraction, it's not of the body. Physical, true, intrinsic physical attraction is of the soul, okay? Because it is something you cannot control, right? That is what is going to give you, some sort of an indication of, what kind of a connection is this. Of course, if it doesn't work out, if the person is treating you badly, and that might happen, even your twin flame might treat you badly sometimes. If it doesn't happen, go for your self-love and put a stop to it. That is a different thing altogether, right? Now, soulmates are those type of people. First is impact, second is chemistry. These are the two main things that you will notice with your soulmates. With your twin flame, now twin flames also have levels, all right? So you could be, there are various dimensions, and the levels vibrate, according to various dimensions, right? The lower your twin flame dimension vibratory level, okay, the more karma you have to sort of go through between you and them, the more shadow work, the more purging, the more cleansing, etc. The higher your vibratory level, with your twin flames, so let us say you are you have evolved to, let's say, in your soul self, you have evolved to, let's say, the 7th or the 9th dimensions. There's so many dimensions out there, right? You have evolved to that. The primary, of course, the love, the chemistry, everything is super intense in twin flame connections, okay? That will always be there. But the impetus, the aim, the goal for both of these really, really high vibratory twin flames is to, impact humanity in certain significant ways. All right. Now, more often than not, in my experience, I have of whatever I thought have been, true, genuine, bona fide twin flames. There is one thing that I have seen, and that is that mostly the first sign of your meeting a twin flame is the steep spiraling up of your spirituality. Okay, this is, I mean, and it is it might happen romantically after you meet them, it might happen before you meet them, but it is more often than not, what I have seen is that you are at this level, and then the moment the twin comes around you, it goes this way. I mean, the graph goes straight up. It's that intense. Okay, it's like two meteors, just colliding. It just impacts your life in very huge ways. Your own inner self is impacted in such strong ways that you do not even, sometimes you don't even recognize who you were at one point of time. All right, this is you. Your twin flame comes to trigger you towards your ascension, your highest self, your spirituality, your deepest self. All right, and that is the main indicator of a twin flame connection, because there is so much confusion about twin flames these days. It's like, okay, I have such a lot of chemistry with this person, we get along so well, we keep coming back to each other, there's so many patterns and formats of connections, that you can easily get really, really confused in that. But the one main indicator of a twin flame is your life turning a 360 degree or a 180 degree round. Yeah. And you heading on, the spiritual path to a large extent. And even if you don't head on a spiritual path, you are changed in such dramatic ways that you probably might not even recognize yourself, as to how much you've changed after a certain individual comes in. All right, they might stay or not stay, but the point is, the main indicator of a twin flame is that your life is going to shed any outdated patterns, beliefs, any 3D conditioning, societal things. You might even have very strong physical material external world changes, like walking out of marriages that are not working, or relationships that are not working, quitting jobs, having a total makeover, losing weight, or getting healthier. I don't know, I mean, it is seen at a physical level. People can make out that, oh my god, like, what happened to you? All right, it's that intense. You cannot miss a twin flame. All right, life cannot make you miss a twin flame. So yes, you might seek validations, right? That's perfectly fine. You can seek validations, but now I come to the second point of twin flames, and that is that somewhere inside you know that this is your twin. Because it's a very inexplicable understanding, a dawning, kind of like a foreknowing that this person is somewhere the same vibration, blueprint, soul format as you. Okay, so because your love is unconditional. There is a feeling of the search, the yearning having ended. All right, and this yearning that most twin flames feel for each other, this yearning about, when am I going to find that perfect person, that is mostly built into twin flames. And the day you meet your twin flame, the moment you meet your twin flame, Whether you are in union with them or not, whether they are in touch with you or not, whether they blocked you or not, whatever the case is, the love is unconditional. You cannot stop, you cannot rationalize the love that you feel for a twin flame. It is a tidal wave, it is a storm, it is something that just blows you away with the intensity of emotion. There is no way in the world, I mean, typically I have seen, very genuine twin flames come to the point of saying that it does not even matter to them, whether they're in union or not, they love their twin flame unconditionally. And they want that person's happiness, right? You can never wish, bad things on your twin flame. That's not how it works. You can't. There is devotion there. It is a prayer. It is so sacred. It is so divine that you are just left stunned and in awe, when you encounter that emotion, because it is divine. It is divine love. It is God. It is you coming face to face with God. Okay. In the purest form, and the purest love that you can feel is, for God when you have devotion. So there is no question, I think, if that other person loves you or not, you love that person, and that's how it's going to stay. If life leads you to other people, you will continue to look to sort of, love your twin flame. And if the union is not supposed to happen in this lifetime or at this time, then you will continue with your work, okay, wishing them all the best, and they would do the same to you. I have never seen, twin flames being deliberately mean to each other. Never deliberately. Yes, it might happen that, they might hurt you sometimes because there are runners, they have shadows, and you're chasing, and, all of those things might happen. There might be misunderstandings and all that stuff. But the thing is that a twin flame can never, hurt you. A twin flame can never deliberately hurt you or wish you bad, and you would not do the same for them. I have also seen twin flames where they are willing to wait for their union, whether it's a earth union or it's a spirit union, whatever union it is, they are willing to wait for whatever time it takes for the divine to bring this person to them. All right, because thinking of being with somebody else just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Because they have imbibed the twin flame vibration to such a large extent within their system that now no other vibration is going to fit the bill. And so all you have to do is wait for divine timing to happen, for your union to happen. And it is always in the hands of the divine when that union is going to happen. But the kind of intensity I have seen in the cases of twin flames is absolutely different. I mean, it's not, there is no confusion about loving this person. There is never any, what do you call this? There's never any shame, there's never any prejudice, there's never any feeling of desperation that, you're missing out on something. No. It's almost like, it's almost like the love you have, that unconditional love that a mother has for a child, or, like most of us have for our parents, it is that kind of a thing, no matter whether you're in union or not, you love this person. There is no other way. They are a part of your soul, right? This is another indicator. The unconditional intensity of love is another indicator that this is your twin flame. Okay? Now, the third thing that I have seen in most cases where there are twin flames is the sudden opening up of spiritual abilities, 5D visions, 5D contact, your psychic intuitive skills opening up, having clairaudience, clairvoyance, all kinds of psychic abilities start opening up. And there are so many: clairalience, sense of smell, sense of touch, taste, everything, so many things that are there out there, they start opening up. That's another indicator that that this is your twin. Now there is so much of confusion also regarding the fact that what is this 5D? What is this 5D? All right, so 5D is basically the realm of unconditional love. All right, here there is no separation, whether you're a soulmate, whether you're a twin flame, whether you are whatever you are, a divine counterpart, there is no separation here, right? It is the spirit realm, the realm of unconditional love. There is no separation. Now, generally, what happens with very intense connections, whether they are soulmate or twin flame, a lot of the times, when the 3D unions are not happening because of certain shadow work that is going to happen, or whatever that is, that is required for a 3D union. A lot of times you might end up meeting in the spirit realm, in the 5D realm, all right, through visions, through a sense of feeling in your heart. Mostly you're connecting to higher frequencies. The 5D is not an actual place as such, okay? The 5D is a frequency, a vibration that your brain connects to when you are vibrating at the level of unconditional love. All right, you automatically tune in. Twin flames actually have the most easiest sort of access to 5D because they are all about unconditional love, right? There's no separation. So sometimes what happens is that when 3D unions are not happening between soulmates, twin flames, you do end up meeting them on a 5D realm, because you have tuned to the frequency of unconditional love. All right, and so the person in 3D might act very different, but in 5D you have beautiful loving contact. And this is very confusing, I've seen this here. I've seen this in my tarot readings as well, and my tribe has seen it also. That when we ask about what does a soul, a being, feel for you on a 5D level, and what do they feel for you on a 3D level, it's very aligned, of course, because what you're feeling at a 5D level ultimately translates down into your 3D, because 5D is also the realm of manifestation. What is happening in the 5D gets translated into the 3D, right? So there are parallels there, but the 5D dimension reading will always come out to be so pure, so loving, whereas the 3D will have all these mind conditionings. I feel something for this person, but my brain says, how is it possible? Maybe I should just stop thinking about this. All of those things start coming in. All right, so there might be a lot of you out there who might be experiencing the 5D. Okay, you might not even have met this person, your soulmate or your twin flame. Okay, but you might be connecting to them at a spirit level, at a 5D level, because you're tuning in to a certain vibration, a certain frequency. Okay, and now in the age of Aquarius, Earth is kind of transitioning and ascending to the 5D, right? So there is even more people waking up to 5D contact. All right, we will be talking more about the 5D in the future, so that you guys know more about it. But mostly 5D is felt mostly from your heart space, where you start suddenly feeling like, let's say, you're on a beach or you're at a party, you suddenly start feeling that way. You're not seeing it, but you start feeling it. All right, and the second thing is you start getting visions all right, that you are in a certain place, and you start feeling what is there in the visions. These are the 2 pointers towards a 5D experience. So that is one aspect of it. And the next aspect that I wanted to talk about is, not everybody chooses the path of twin flames. Not everybody does. The path of twin flames has been chosen by twin flames in order to rapidly sort of expand or accelerate ascension for the collective, for humanity. All right, because when twin flames come into union, so it is okay, so this is the way it goes, right? There are souls, and then there are soul groups, right, which are called soul tribes. In soul tribes also there will be soul clusters made out of, like, let's say just 12, all right, 12 souls. And in those 12 souls, each soul is like a twin. When all of these 12 souls combine, the energy of their unified union right, is so intense that it starts affecting people around them, and ascends people in a vibratory level towards higher vibrations, towards ascension, towards 5D. All right, and in this time, in this age, a lot of twin flames are actually, the reason why a lot of twin flames are actually interacting with each other, I'm not going to say in union because it is a process, right, but they are interacting with each other because they are all heading towards this group ascension of twin flames. Okay, it's beautiful. It's like, if you look at it from a, you know, like a 5D point of view, you know, it's almost like lights, you know, it's like groups and groups of light, and when the twins in that soul cluster come together, you know, the light that is emitted into the universe, into space, is so radiant, it's so beautiful that it's amazing to see. I've seen this in my meditations, right? The gatherings of twin flames, the tree of life, and how the energies, I see them as candle flames, groups of candle flames, making one big flame, right? And this is happening across the globe which is the reason why Earth is ascending, or in fact might even have ascended to the 5D level. All right, so this is how these twin flame unions, this is the reason for twin flame unions, right? Twin flames are always in union. You need to know, if you are a twin flame, you are always and eternally in union with your twin. All right, Earth union is a different thing. It is like, you see your Earth lives in the perspective of like a movie reel, like each what do you call it, each clip, you join different clips to make the whole reel, right? So your Earth life is just one clip, right? So you might or might not come into union in that, but the point is that from a higher perspective, you're always in union with your twin flame. You would have noticed sometimes that, all of a sudden certain thoughts come to you, because mostly twin flames, when they are not even aware that there is a twin flame or they will come into union, are energetically in union with each other. You might have noticed, right since the beginning, that there are certain thoughts that come to you that you just don't understand. Where did that come from? Or you might speak a certain way and you don't understand, where did that come from? Or there are certain parts of your personality that you don't understand. Let us say, for example, I am, a person who's like mostly was like a Pisces, right? I'm dreamy, I'm, like wishy-washy, floaty and all of that. But then, yes, you might say that these are planetary aspects, but I'm not talking about planetary aspects. I'm talking about the core self of you, right? Planetary aspects are just surface level, but the core self. So I have noticed that, you know, there are certain parts of my nature where I'm very, very authoritative. Okay, I might get very nitpicky, authoritative, very confident sometimes, you know, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? Why do I go a total 180 degrees? You know, and then there are bits and pieces, downloads of knowledge, you know, that come to you as well. And you know, you are like, where did this come from? How do I understand this? You know, like this. Certain habits you might take on, okay, that your twin has. You know, you will understand all that when you actually meet and get to know your twin flame, because you are always connected. You are always connected to your twin flame. All right, you can always try. You can try to get to understand that more, but you are always connected to your twin flame. There's never a single moment that a twin is away from you. It's the sign of eternity, you know, like Chetna said in her video, right? And yes, so I was saying that not everyone is meant to be a twin flame. There are certain souls who have taken this upon themselves, you know, to ascend humanity. Some souls are androgynous, they come from different galaxies, they're star seeds, and so they might not have this burning, yearning desire for twin flames. I have known certain people who are like, what is all this twin flame stuff all about, right? I don't feel it. You know, is there something wrong with me? Everybody is talking about twin flames and I don't want it. You know, I just want a normal sort of, you know, like, so they say that, you know, I just want a normal, you know, connection, and some of them don't even want a connection. You know, some of them are like, you know, I love being by myself. I've seen souls like that as well, and there's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody will have the twin flame journey. Not everybody is a twin flame. All right, there are different ways to ascend. You know, there are different paths to ascension. There is the guru path, the devotion path, the bhakti path. I don't know, there's so many paths. Like they say, there's so many roads to Rome. Alright, so twin flame path is just one. So you do not have to feel that you are the odd one out if you don't have a twin flame. Alright. If you have always had that, you know, inside you, that feeling, that wanting, then most probably, yes, you are a twin flame, and somewhere along the way on your path, you are going to encounter a twin flame, right? But not everybody is meant for that. Some souls are very, very fulfilled, almost androgynous in nature, right? Because they're already in union, right? Some souls are, you know, already in union energetically with their divine counterpart. Whether that divine counterpart is, you know, manifest in matter, right, as one body, or whether that divine counterpart is somewhere in the galaxy, somewhere in the spirit world, you know, guiding their twin. All right. The point is that these are the souls. You know, there are some souls which are not twin flames, and it's perfectly fine to be that way. All right. Doesn't mean you're the odd one out. So I'm going to, you know, like end now. I hope, you know, you have some sort of a kind of like, you know, idea. There is so much I can go on and on about in this topic. But this is from my viewpoint. I felt this was the first thing that I wanted to talk about, and we'll go for, you know, more such topics, more such experiences. So do let me know, you know, if you have any questions regarding this, okay? And once again, I'd like to repeat, this is from my perspective, my experience, my case studies, and my clients, right? This by no means, you know, will fit certain formats. So if it doesn't, then, you know, let it be, let it go if it does not resonate. But this is from my end, okay? Because I'm quite sorted out in terms of what I feel, you know, is what a twin flame journey is all about, what a twin flame is all about. You know, But who knows? We're all learning. We're all learning. Even the most ascended of souls keep learning. Learning is ever evolving. We can never stop learning. I think I'll just keep going on if I keep going on anyways. So I think I'm going to stop here. Okay, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and keep asking questions. Bye.